Hello, dear co-creative Destiny Weavers. Since Saturday for me is like spreading the seeds day, a metaphor for spreading what is dear to our hearts and some wisdom, anything we like to share. And since I love my stories and fairy tales, since I'm a teenager, and I've actually got a YouTube playlist where I read out loads of fairy tales. Most of them are all in German. They don't exist in English. From Lucy Körner Verlag. That's why I will translate into English spontaneously. And today I would like to share one of my most favorite stories, The Woman from the Rainbow. From this book. Translate: how many colors has got your longing? So there was once a man who experienced something magical and extraordinary when he was young. He never spoke about it, but he never forgot any moment from this special experience. And one day when he was sitting underneath a tree with his son, he started to talk about this special moment, special experience. So he was saying, underneath this tree, my dear son, I've met and experienced something which I cannot put into words, which was magical and full of secrets. So his son looked at him full aspiration and interest. What does he may want to talk about? And so the father continued. It was a warm, nice summer day like it is today, dear son. I was still very, very young, about your age. I was looking for some rest, and so I went for a walk, and I took some rest underneath this tree. And then he breathed deeply and continued to speak, really feeling into this experience, what happened to him as a young man. Yes, and then I don't know what happened really. I don't know whether I felt asleep or whether it was real. All of a sudden, I saw a beautiful rainbow at the sky. But it was really magical, strange. It was like the rainbow was exactly in front of me. So I wasn't sure what really happened. And all of a sudden, from this many colors, a woman has appeared in front of me. His son started to look a bit dubious. But his son, he noticed that, but continued to speak. I know, it sounds crazy. But I tell you, that's how it happened. So he took a deep breath. This woman was like a dream. She was everything what a man would ever like in a woman. And I don't mean only her looks. Even though I've never seen her before, I just knew it. It was a bit strange. However, so this woman, out of the rainbow, she set herself next to me. And then I started to talk. I talked and talked like a waterfall. It was like I was not able to stop anymore. I don't know what it was. Maybe I was just excited or insecure. I don't know. I talked about everything. About my dreams, about my sorrows, about my needs, about everything what came into my mind. Later on, I was a bit ashamed that I talked so much and like I have never talked in my whole life before. And she didn't really talk. In fact, she only said 3 sentences. And his son was really curious. What kind of sentences were those? And his father continued, I've never forgot those 3 sentences. Those were very strange sentences. In a like really philosophical and deep sentences. One of those sentences was, your destiny, your life lies in your own hands. You create your life, even though it doesn't appear like that sometimes. And he started to think about that and became silent. And the other sentences, what were those? The son was asking curiously. Okay. The father came back from his dreams or from his memories. And he continued. The second sentence was, try to love the people, even though if they don't make it easy for you. And he continued to say, I think I've understood the sentence. However, I think that I probably never lived by it. And I think I loved far too little in my life. And the third sentence, continued his father, that was the most strange and thoughtful one. I probably never understood it. Allow everything to happen as it does, even though you like to fight against it or resist it. He became all silence, as if he finished to talk his story. And his son was also all thoughtful. And he was saying, yes, definitely worthwhile to think about all those 3 sentences. Now think, dear father, I think you probably didn't understand a lot of those sentences when I look at your life. And his father looked back at him, was saying, yeah, you might be right there. You know, when I grew older and older, I also realized that I was not living those sentences. And nowadays, I almost think that it's too late. But his son was saying, no, I don't think so, Dad. It's never too late. This is just an excuse. But how did the story continue with this woman? And his dad was looking at him in a very loving way. Well, on that day, it became very, very late. And this woman, who hardly spoke except of these 3 sentences, she took me in her arms. And then she caressed me. She was pure love. I think she showed me what true love is. And I don't think I've ever experienced a love like this again. You mean bodily love? His son asked. Yes and no, his father replied. It was everything. I cannot put it into words what really happened. It was like I really flew with a rainbow into the sky. And like the moon was rising. And the stars were dancing. And it was like I flew in the center of the universe, where everything in the universe meets. And I experienced something, but I cannot really put into words. The time stood still. It was like my body has been torn apart, and at the same time, I felt so secure and good, like never in my whole life before. It was just beautiful. And I don't really know what this woman did to me. Now the father and son looked at each other for a long time, and the son said, it was not only the woman who did something. You contributed as well, didn't you? And I just sat silently with each other. And after a long, long time, the son asked again, and what else happened? And his father answered, nothing special. At some point during the night, I came back to myself. And until I really reconnected with my brain, mind, body. And the woman was just gone. And I have never ever seen her again. And all of a sudden it was like he wanted to cry. You know, dear son, I have always searched for her, here underneath this tree. Whenever I saw a rainbow, but I've never seen her again. And no woman has been like her. Nobody has listened to me like she did. Nobody has ever said such sentences to me or brought me in such passion. And I've met a lot of women. Yeah, this woman out of the rainbow. Maybe that's why I've actually secretly been looking for this woman my whole life. And his son answered, I think she gifted you something very, very big and great. Love with your whole being. And you, Dad, you have never passed on this gift. You have always just been searching for this love. Always you have been looking for this love instead of just passing it on. And his son continued. He stretched himself and he was saying, I think everyone is looking for this love. And in every woman and every man. Me too. And at the same time, we forget the most important thing. To love in the here and now. And his father looked at him and started to cry. Yes, dear son, you have understood her. And I think now I also start to understand. So please, my son, help me to stand up. And both of them started to walk back home with each other. Not the father nor the son spoke ever again about the woman out of the rainbow. But something happened between both of them. Both of them have changed. And once again, the father went for a walk one afternoon later during the year. It was warm and like autumn. Something special was in the air. And he looked in the sky and he saw a beautiful rainbow in the sky. And he was thinking, how many colors has got longing? And the next morning, the son was looking after his dad, but was not able to find him. And all of a sudden, he knew where to find him, at the tree. And when he arrived at the tree, there he was, his dad. He was lying there with a very happy smile in his face. And his son understood all of a sudden. He took his father in his arms and hugged him really lovingly. And whilst he was sitting there crying because his dad died, he started to smile again. And he was whispering in the ear of his father, now you know, don't you, father? Now we finally understood what the woman told you. He hugged his dad for the very last time. And he knew that his father and the woman from the rainbow have probably met each other again. I love this story, just like this title of the book. How many colors has got your longing. And the 3 wise sentences of this woman from the rainbow. Let's try to summarize them again. Destined the life lies in your hands, and you create your life, even if you don't think like that. The second one, try to love people just the way they are, even if they make it difficult for you sometimes. And the third one, just allow everything to happen as it is. Even if you want to resist or fight it sometimes. Many blessings. Blagadario.